for Manchester United. A huge summer for them coming up, Rob. What is their priority at the moment, and where do we stand on the comings and goings?
Cunha very early. I think a lot of fans are very happy to see them start their transfer business early, given the season that they've just had. The next priority is Bryan Mbeumo from Brentford. The negotiations are carrying on with that. They want to get that over the line as quickly as possible. And then attention will turn to signing a centre-forward. I mean, you can tell with the signings that they're looking to make that Ruben Amorim has identified a lack of goals as a major problem, and they want to fix it. I mean, to be honest, you could go through that entire squad and probably fix every single position, but in terms of what Ruben Amorim wants, he wants to get goals through the door as quickly as possible, and it started early with Cunha and those negotiations with Bryan Mbeumo.
Is there any chance Mbeumo will turn his back on United and go to Spurs and follow his old manager there, Rob?
I mean, I'm sure there is that possibility, man. People will put two and two together now because Thomas Frank, his manager at Brentford, has joined Tottenham. Obviously, Mbeumo is one of Brentford's best players. He's had a fantastic season where he's reached 20 Premier League goals. I mean, speaking to Man United today, they're still very, very relaxed about Mbeumo. They don't feel that they're going to get usurped by Tottenham. They don't feel that they're in any real danger of having that happen. They've had assurances from Mbeumo and his representatives that it is Man United that he wants. He wants to move to Old Trafford, and they're willing to trust him. So as long as they can get a fee agreed quickly and get those negotiations over the line, they fully expect Mbeumo to be a Man United player.
What would you do, Don? How much of an influence does it?
I've done it.
Having an old manager.
I've done it. I've followed Howard Kendall from Sheffield United to Everton. It's a massive pull. And I loved Howard anyway, so I was always going to go and join him, and I was upgrading in terms of the clubs that I was going to and from. The decision he's got to make now is, does he think it's possible that Man United are in a genuine rebuild, or is it going to be 4, 5, 6 years? It feels as though the signings that they're trying to make, it feels quite impressive to me.
What, Cunha?
Well, yeah, good signing. What they need is legs. I mean, they need a centre forward.
It's not a game changer, is it?
He is a game changer, yeah.
I don't think so, Don.
Well, I do.
I don't think... he's now going to put Manchester United as title contenders?
No, he won't.
I don't understand what you mean
well, he's
a
better
game changer.
Well, he is a game-changing player.
In what context for Manchester United, their ambition?
Because he adds legs, he adds goals, he adds assists, on top of maybe Victor Osimhen, on top of maybe Bryan Mbeumo. So the rebuild looks like it's happening. It's quite impressive to me, even though it's only one player through the door in Cunha, who's a fantastic player. I think from Bryan Mbeumo's point of view, as I was saying, you can either go to Tottenham and play for your former manager in Thomas Frank,
and play Champions League.
Play Champions League, which would be quite impressive to go and have a manager that completely trusts you. Or you look at the club of the size of Man United and think, well, I could be part of something. Knowing that Cunha's signed, Bryan Mbeumo next. If they give him insurances that maybe we're going after a number 9 in Osimhen, all of a sudden I look at it and think, because, listen, as Rob said there, 2 players are not going to take Man United to win in the league. We know that, but a rebuild has to start somewhere. And there's no reason with no European football whatsoever next season, Man, you can't have a really good go at getting European football or top 4 again next season. Because they've got 1 game a week.
Top 4?
With the new signings, potentially, yeah. They've got no European football to play. So they're potentially playing Saturday to Saturday. There's a lot of time on the grass for Ruben Amorim to work on his players.
Well, he had time, didn't he? Last few months it didn't work out.
With a million games involved.
Sorry?
With a million games involved.
There wasn't a million games in the last 3 months,
Well, there was domestic football. There was
what else?
European football, a European final. Come on, Dan, you know that. To play busy football on Thursdays. Domestic football during the week. 2 or 3 games a week. That's a difficult schedule for a team that wasn't good enough. Now you add good players to it without European football.
You've added 1 player.
Yeah, sitting here now, but it could be 2 with Bryan Mbeumo.
What
could be
3
with Osimhen.
Well, and now they're top 4 contenders.
Yes.
I don't understand how that computes.
So you add 3 brilliant players. You don't think, Man, you can get top 4?
100% no.
Of course they can.
No.
Why not?
Because they're terrible.
But look at the players that they're signing.
What, are they playing in defence?
No, but...
Are they running around in midfield? Are they wheeling Casemiro around?
Listen to my point. The manager's going to have time on the training ground. He's not going to have a million games. He's going to be playing Saturday to Saturday.
But if you've still got the same personnel, you've got Rashford in the background, you've got Jadon Sancho hanging out behind the bike sheds. You know, you've got all this problem.
I completely disagree.
I don't understand how all of a sudden
you don't understand
comes,
because you close your ears off. I've just said to you they're going to sign potentially 3 brilliant players.
Right, but if they sign those 3 players, that doesn't fix anything.
It gets them closer to European football.
But it doesn't put them across the line with the top 4, does it?
Why not?
Because they've still got to defend. They've still got to win the ball.
Is that all you're basing it on? You're not basing it on structure?
I'm basing it on they finished 16th last season.
This is a team that's had a negative goal difference for about the last 4 years. They're trying to fix it.
But they're not.
Well, they are. They're adding goals.
They're getting worse. They're getting worse every season. They're getting worse.
Is he mad? Cunha's going to score, and number 9's going to score, and Buemo's going to score.
Those 3 come in their top 4, Shaq.
I don't see Manchester United finishing top 4.
Why not?
For all the reasons that Dad just said, between two Sancho hanging on behind the
But
bike.
the fact they've got no European football to play will help them.
We'll get to the predictions, next season predictions later on, right? from a Brian and Buemo perspective. No.
Shaka's put an embargo on it.
No, I just told you. I don't think Manchester. As we sit right now, I do not think Manchester United finish top 6. Probably not even top 8.
What changes your mind? Osimhen and Buemo. Does that change your
About
mind?
6 signings changes my mind. About 6, which we can't speculate on right now. We can't speculate on what those 6 signings are, who they will be. I will say that Manchester United, to your point, don't have the attracting power that they once did. Just because back in the day, Manchester United was the go-to destination. They aren't anymore. They are shopping in the Cunha basket, so to speak, and that level of player. I think that inches them higher up the table, but it doesn't have them banging on the door of top 4. Probably not even top 6, top 8, as I say.
Wow, not even top 8?
Not even top 8.
You're ridiculous.
If I'm Brian and Buemo, to your question, Dan, my former manager, who got the best out of me, goes to another London club with Champions League football.
Right.
Those 2 clubs, between Spurs and Manchester United, there was, a couple of points and a couple of places between them in terms of the league table. So you're starting pretty much on a level pegging. And so while you make the point about what signings Manchester United could make to propel them to top 4, you could make that same exact argument about Spurs, because they're starting from pretty much level pegging. And Spurs have Champions League football to attract those players. So you could quite easily make the argument that right now, if we're talking the next 2 or 3 years, which is Brian and Buemo's focus, Spurs are in a better position. So I take nothing for granted in terms of Mbuemo going to Manchester United. If I'm Brian Mbuemo, and again, coming from somebody who followed Harry Redknapp around, you totally understand if Thomas Frank gives him a call and that all of a sudden is the far more appealing prospect.
That's what you love, isn't it, Rob? In the heat in Miami, listening to us talk nonsense.
Absolutely fantastic. What more could you want?
So Don says if they get these 3 players, they're finishing top 4. Where do you
Chance
stand on
of top 4.
that was a chance. Beep, beep, beep.
Well, I mean, I must say that I agree with Don, because not having European football and having 3 weeks in between games, I mean, the lads in the studio will know better than anyone, but having that time to be able to prepare for 1 game a week is a massive thing for Ruben Amorim and Man United, particularly when you're trying to learn a new system and a new tactical setup. And it's what Ruben Amorim has said even last season. He said that there was a case that maybe Man United weren't ready for European football next year, and maybe it would help them if they had those 3 weeks. So he's assuming that he can get a lot more out of these players. And when you put on top of that, Matheus Cunha and hopefully Brian Mbuemo, 2 proven Premier League goal scorers, you're solving a huge problem there. The lack of goals has really held Man United back for the last couple of years. And if you can solve that and bring in proven Premier League goal scorers to put the ball in there, it gets you an awful lot closer to the top 4. I mean, in my opinion, I think they should be looking at top 6. But I agree with Don. I mean, if they can hit the ground running at the start of next season, start scoring goals, Cunha and Mbuemo scoring goals, I don't see why top 4 should be out of the question.
To that point, while we're talking about Brian Mbuemo here, saying to a player, we don't have Champions League football next season. We don't have any. That's really poor salesmanship.
Well, the fact that they might say we'll give you another 100 grand a week on top.
This coming from Manchester United, who've had their financial issues for well-documented financial issues for quite some time. Now it's easy for us sitting on the outside to say it's better for Manchester United that they don't have European football, they don't have those midweek exertions. It's better for Ruben Amorim. For Brian Mbuemo, that doesn't wash. You want to be playing European football.
Do you think Spurs will pay him $250 a week?
I'm sitting here assuming that all things are equal, right?
They're not.
Okay, right. But
you're going to pay him $250 a week.
But to your point, Manchester United have had financial issues for quite some time. If they aren't able to shift Marcus Rashford, if they aren't able to shift Anthony, if they aren't able to shift Casemiro, if they aren't able to shift Jadon Sancho, are we sure that Spurs can't match Manchester United just in terms of financial fair play or whatever it's called now. I'm not sure, given their financial issues. That's just the reality of who Manchester United are right now. This isn't the Manchester United of our day.